Good morning, good morning, good morning. I hope you're all having a fantastic day. We're going to go ahead and do an updated gameplay review on NFT Panda World of Fantasy. This is a browser-based game focused on, as you guessed it, pandas. All right, we're going to go ahead and cover this from end to end, show you the gameplay, give you a little bit of background to start out with it. And then at the end of the video, I'm going to go ahead and dive into the Warrior Lions score. Basically, my rating of the game. This is my personal entertainment rating focused on entertainment. I'll also give you some pros and cons of the game, again, based on my personal opinion. And we'll walk through and just kind of give you a better idea of the game in case it's something that may interest you if you decide to go ahead and test it out or look into it a little bit more. That's the point of these videos, is just to give you some background on the game so you're a little more familiar with it and you can do the next steps of your research to see if it's the right game for you. Before we jump into the video, I know I have to do everyone's least favorite part of the video and let you know this disclaimer. I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. Please make sure you do your own research before you jump into any project. Don't take my word or anything that's said in this video as financial advice or advice in any way. I'm just a gamer playing a game and reviewing games as part of this. I am not telling you to jump into any project or anything along those lines. Do your own research. Make sure it's right for you. Go ahead and pause this video and read this thoroughly before we jump into it. All right, so let's get back to the video. NFT Panda is a web-based game on the Wax blockchain. If you want to go ahead and check out the website, it is nftpanda.space. I'll also have a link in the description down below so you can go ahead and check it out. It does claim that on its website that it is a web-based or browser-based RPG game. I like to think of it in its current state more of a fantasy gathering and crafting game, with the potential of going ahead and expanding to that with some of the updates that are going to be coming up here in the near future, which I'll talk about in a little bit. It is mobile friendly through the browser. There's no mobile app that goes along with it, and it's been around for a very long time. This is actually one of the first games I remember looking at back when I started on the Wax blockchain almost 3 years ago. So it's been around ever since 2021. There is no free to play, but there are some low entry point options that I'll go ahead and talk about. There is currently no PvP to it. There's currently no land to it, but both of those are going to be coming soon as far as the next stages. The kind of those things that are going to get closer to an RPG style game rather than just a gathering and crafting style game. So let's go ahead and jump over to the website. As I mentioned, nftpanda.space will take you here. It's very colorful, very vibrant style as far as the graphics go, which I enjoy. I don't get me wrong, I like my dark vampire style games also, but it's nice to have the change of the bright and vibrant style with it. This is the website. Not the one thing I do want to caveat as far as the website, and I couldn't find in the Discord, there's not much about the team other than I think there's just some details all the way here at the bottom. Again, not a ton about the team itself. If you ask, they'll give you some details, but overall, they don't really put a lot of it in the publications, we'll say. All right, so if you want to go ahead and actually play the game, you go to their website and you go ahead and click on play, and that's going to take you here to the login screen. You have to go ahead and confirm that you read and accepted. Make sure that you are connected with your wallet, and then you go ahead and jump in here. In order to play the game, what you need is just one panda. You only need one panda, and then you can go ahead and start running adventures and start gathering stuff and start leveling up. To optimize the game, you need 20 pandas, and that is fully optimal. And you can even do well with 20 commons, but you have a better chance, obviously, the higher rarity. You can go somewhere in between based on your situation and your budget. What I'm doing, and full disclosure, I did start the game. Let me take a step back. I played the game almost 2 years ago. I tested it out and played it, and I probably played it for about a month. Then kind of got focused on other games. About a week and a half ago, I jumped back into the game. I guess it's probably more about a week ago. I jumped back into the game, mostly to test it out, mostly because I'm excited for some of the stuff that they have coming in the near future. So you're going to see that I have 20 in here, and they're higher than just the common pandas. So I do plan on playing this a little bit longer. So I wanted to put that full disclosure out there. But in order to play it, there's a number of different options that go with it. You go ahead, you get your pandas, and your pandas have the ability to hold 3 different items. They have a sword or a weapon, they have armor, and they have some sort of jewelry. The one thing I have to note is check the white papers when you're going through the process to get NFTs if you choose to do so, and the equipment that goes along with it, because some pandas can use some types of weapons or optimize for some type of weapons than other ones. For example, you don't want a priest holding a sword, but you want a warrior holding a sword or something like that. So go through that. There are a bunch of different types of pandas out there, ranging from everywhere, like I said, warriors, berserkers, paladins. There's another paladin, shooters. I got a whole lot of paladins, I didn't realize. Engineers, again, warriors and archers, just all the way down to elders and priests and healers and smiths. So there's a bunch of different types of pandas right now. In the current game, they all kind of have the same results as far as outputs. The only difference you have there is the rarity of the panda and the ranking of the panda. Yes, I said ranking. So as you go ahead and through these adventures, you'll go ahead and get experience points, as you can see here. And once you get to the next experience level, or you fill up that experience bar, you go ahead and you stake and you can rank up. The higher the rank, the better the rewards, the better reward multiplier, I should say. And the combination of the rarities and the weapons and so forth all kind of give you an idea of your potential of rewards from the missions. Yes, if you heard me when I was mentioning that the ranking up, you do have to stake a little bit of BAM. BAM is the in-game token. So when you go ahead through the rank up process, you're going to have to stake a little bit. And I'm talking about just a little bit. Depending on the rarity, the higher rarities will have a little more that you need to stake. For example, I think I'm lieutenant on this. Is that what yeah, I'm lieutenant on this character. And I only had to put in there 40 BAM, which is not a lot, to be honest with you, depending on your budget. But you earn that pretty quickly. So a lot of the early game focus is on gaining XP and ranking up as quickly as possible. And the reason you want to rank up as quickly as possible is because of those multiplier rewards. They also have additional things like if you have all the same rarity equipment attached, you'll go ahead and get an additional bonus. For example, these are all common things, but this one has different rarities on there, so that they won't get the bonus there. So there's a whole bunch of little things that you learn about the game as you start playing it. But the priority to go ahead and play the game is really running missions. When you run missions, you go ahead and feed your panda, you repair the equipment. And to feed the reason you want to feed your pandas is to get you their energy back up to 100%. As you can see, all my pandas are at 100%, except for this guy right here. He's at 55. I could let him go for another run or two. You start getting a decrease of output when you start getting on the lower end of the energy level. But just for the sake of the video, I'm going to go ahead and feed him. The other thing you have to notice with the food, you can feed a higher rarity panda lower rarity food, but you're going to have less of an impact. So if I go ahead and feed him, I want to make sure that he's also getting legendary food. So we'll go ahead and click on feed, and then he'll go ahead and get back up to 100%. So that's how you go ahead and feed. You can go ahead and do it multiples if you want to do mass changes, mass repairs. They have that option now, which they did not have the last time I tried to play the game. All right, so I talked about the pandas. You can stack up to 20 pandas. After I think it's the first 2 or 4 panda slots, you got to start paying BAM for the rest of your panda slots. Once you have those all stacked up, you can go ahead and send them on adventures. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to send all my guys, actually most of my guys, because some of them aren't quite ranked up high enough. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead here. I selected all of them. You see the little checkbox, and I'm going to send on an adventure. That takes you to this land. There's several different areas where you can go on adventures. To start the game, you're only going to be able to go here until your panda is ranked 2nd lieutenant. Once they rank up past 2nd lieutenant, then you can expand onto the other areas. Looks like this is going to be a new area that's coming here soon. And then eventually they keep expanding to future areas. And I think the land and the pet will give us some additional options also. But it's for the sake of the video, I'm going to go ahead and send mine all here. Let me step back. When you go ahead and send it to I want to say the beginner spot, you have the option, or you have the ability to go ahead and get experience points from the run, and then you're going to go ahead and get bamboo as a reward. And I'll show you that with 2 of them here in a minute. With the other 3 locations, you actually get materials. You get potential XP, and then you get some sort of materials that you can go ahead and use for crafting. This is what I was talking about, the hunting, gathering, and crafting parts of the game here. So you can go ahead and get bars and wood there. Here you can go ahead and get, I guess they're gems. And then here you go ahead and get books. All depending on what you're looking for, but you need to be 2nd lieutenant in order to go to these 3 locations. I'm still looking for materials. I'm still early on, so I'm going to go ahead and go here, try and get some wood, some steel, so I can go ahead and get some additional equipment. But as you can see over here, here are all my pandas, all 20 pandas, all look good to go except for 2. They get the exclamation points. So I'm going to go ahead and click on those and take them out of the loop. And then we're going to go ahead. You have the option to send them on a 6-hour adventure, or you can go all the way up to a 20-hour adventure. I'm sorry, 12-hour adventure, which I'm going to go ahead and do that. This is the part where it gets a little bit clicky. This is the part that I kind of hesitate a little bit on because it is clicky. It's you click, you send, you wait, and they come back. I get that. There is some clicking portion of this, which has me not the super excited part of me. So I'm going to go ahead and run that for these 18, other than the 2 there. So let's go ahead and click send. It's going to go ahead and process that, and it's going to give me some rewards. You get XP and you'll get materials. If you're super unlucky, you won't get anything. But if you're really lucky, I'll get a whole bunch. I actually got quite a few here, so I'm happy about that. So I sent 18 out. Actually, no, I didn't get as much as I wanted since I sent them on a double quest. But I got 10 bars and I got 4 pieces of wood plus 28 experience. I guess that's all right. I would like to see a little bit more, but I'm going to have to continue to rank up my pandas in order to really see some much better results. That's my focus right now, is trying to get them up here. So if I go ahead and click on details, it'll show you exactly what each of my characters got. And the one I always look at is my legendary, who got squat. So he got nothing. So that's the problem. So you got to judge whether it's more efficient to go ahead and run 6-hour ones and click more, or if it's better for yourself to go ahead and run the long runs and try and roll the dice on it. That in that case, it wasn't the greatest for me on that run, but let's go ahead and run for, we still got 2 pandas left to go. So we'll go ahead and run those. See, both of these pandas are officer cadets. They're not quite to the 2nd lieutenant yet. So I have to run them on the beginner stage, which is this one, which will give me bamboo. And to add to that, when you run the bamboo ones, you have the chance of going all the way from -100 all the way up to 100, giving you variable results depending on what you get. Obviously, the 100 gives you the best results, and the -100 gives you 0 results. So we're going to go ahead and run these 2 pandas because they're the ones that are eligible for this one. And we're going to go ahead and run them also 12 hours because I got nothing else to do. I like to run long term, so it's less clicking that I have to do. So you click send on adventure. It's going to go through the same process, and it's going to hopefully give me some rewards. As you can see, the visual is a little bit different because you're going to get BAM and you're going to get experience. I actually got pretty decent results for sending only 2 pandas out there. I got 20 experience and I got almost 17 BAM. Again, these are lower ranking pandas, so they're not going to have the huge multiplier. If I go ahead and click on this, you can see the reason I got as much as I did was this one got 100%. This one got -25, so it got less. And these also show you the weapon bonuses that you have that go along with it. So that's how you run adventures, which is going to be a majority of your time right now. So that's, again, why I call it a gathering and crafting. You can go over, you can craft different items from weapons to jewelry to armor. And when you click on it, you have the choice of crafting and upgrading. And then you can go ahead. I'm just going to click this one as an example. And it shows you what you need. You need all these different parts, which you can get in the shop or you can get on secondary market. And the material that we just gathered costs some BAM. The one thing I don't like about the crafting is basically you only have a 55% chance of success. You can get some blessings that give you a higher percent chance. So just be aware that you're gonna break a lot of things when you're crafting. A few of the other features that they have in here is they do have a tavern that has a bunch of quests that you can go ahead and do that'll give you some extra items. You get there's some beginner quests that'll go ahead and give you some basic wood chests, or they have some advanced quests out there that'll give you some more, some higher ranking items like epic armor and so forth, and some blessings. So those are out there for you to try. And then last but not least, as far as things I'm going to go ahead and show you as part of this video, is the leaderboard. There's a season that's every single month. They have a leaderboard that gives you rewards. If you get in the top 100, you'll go ahead and get some sort of reward. Obviously, the better that you do, the more rewards you get. Rare armor, I think there's some epic armor, yeah. And there's all the information here. Basically, all the activities that you do within the game allow you to get higher and get you points to get higher on the leaderboard. My example, like I said, I started about a week ago with running 20 pandas, and higher rarity pandas. Like they're not low ranking pandas. So running after a week, I am at 155. There's only 5 days left in this season, so I'm probably not going to get to the point where I'm going to get a reward, but that's there if you push for the rewards. Plus, they run events. I'm not going to dive into the events because there's a whole bunch of other things based on that, but they do run regular events that are similar to season. The more points you get, the more rewards you get, and you can go ahead and take a deeper look at that. So that's the game that is in place as of right now. As far as some features that are coming here in the near future, there's a couple things that you should be aware of, and they're the reasons why I kind of jumped in a little heavier than I was originally going to, because I want to see how this all plays out. They have land coming, and they have pets that are coming. This was just announced this week. In addition to that, they have PvP coming. So that may give you some better use cases for your characters as far as berserkers compared to priests. I wonder if they'll balance out. Priests can go ahead and heal, but that's all pure speculation since they haven't provided a lot of detail around the PvP. Pure guess. But there's some options that are coming here in the near future. All right, now that we talked about the game itself, let's go ahead and talk about the entertainment ranking, the Warrior Lion score that I've been doing for all these updated games. Please understand the majority of this ranking is based on the existing game, but there was some influence based on what's coming up here in the near future. It wasn't a huge amount as far as what is potentially coming because I want to see the details around it before I really add that to the ranking itself. So in 2 or 3 months from now, this could have a completely different score once that is all released. But as of right now, my ranking for NFT Panda is 3.5 stars. It is not quite the RPG that they mentioned on the website, but it's getting there. I think it's getting slowly there. It definitely has the potential to grow to be a solid web-based fantasy RPG. And when I say web-based, that means it's a little bit of a clicker. It's not quite like, it's not an Avalon. It's not an Avalon, the game, where that is an RPG MMO style. This is going to be mostly a clicker, but it's adding a whole bunch of elements that are going to make it pretty interesting if they do it right. And that's a big if. Some of the pros that go along with this is there's a good balance as far as once you get past the early stages. The early stages are a little bit grindy because you don't get some decent multipliers until you get to a certain rank. So really the first couple weeks, I'm guessing, is just you clicking and really not expecting tons of results except for maybe XP. So it's once you get past that phase, it's going to get a lot more interesting because you can go ahead and craft more. And when this new stuff comes out, I think there's going to be a lot more benefit around it. As I mentioned, they have some big updates that are coming up here in the near future. So I did put those in the pros. It's stable. It's been around for 3 years. In fact, recently I mentioned something on Twitter about some of the games that I'm going to be reviewing here soon. And a couple people actually came to me and said, is NFT Panda still around? We thought it was dead. It's not dead. It never was dead. It's just a slow development there for a short period of time because of the bear market. But it's been around. It's been stable. It's been consistent for those that have been playing it. There's the seasonal leaderboard and prizes, so that adds some extra interest to it more than just the clicker side of it. And there's a huge focus, like I mentioned, on leveling, gathering, and crafting, which isn't a lot of games. A lot of games, in order to rank up your characters or your NFTs, you have to go through a blending process, which can be painful because you're losing NFTs in order to gain some. Yes, the crafting has that a little bit, but as far as the leveling goes, you're ranking up based on what you're actually doing in the game. Yes, you have to stake some BAM, the in-game token, but if you take that character out, you get that BAM back. It's just staked, you're not spending it. So that's a nice little addition there. Some of the cons, as I mentioned, the early game is slow and grindy. and there's a decent amount to set up. Yes, you have the option to go with one common panda if you want to go ahead and get started. But if you want to kind of compete at the leaderboard, even if it's not like a high tier level, you still need like 20 pandas. You need to equip them all. You got to make sure that the equipment matches the type of the pandas. And you got to put them all in there. Then there's some additional setup as far as making sure that your equipment is all fixed when it needs to be fixed, and you're feeding them. So there's some complexity there that's a little more than most games. But overall, like I said, I'm going to be playing this for a little bit while, and that's just, again, my personal opinion because I want to see how it expands. Right now, the Warrior Line score for the game is 3.5. Let me know what your thoughts are. I do expect if the PvP, land, and pets all come out and they do a good job with it, I can see that score going up. Not sure what it'll go up to, but I can see it going up potentially. Just, again, pure speculation depending on how it all rolls out. Let me know down in the comments below, what is your ranking of NFT Panda? What are your thoughts of the game? And just let me know if you have any other games you want to request. Like I said, over the next 3 months, I'm going to be going ahead and doing a lot of these. So let me know. I hope you all have a great day, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.